The Bible described the perfect sleep formula 3,000 years ago. Modern sleep scientists just confirmed it. While you've been spending billions on melatonin pills and sleep trackers, an ancient text was already mapping the exact foods, drinks, and nightly rituals that lower cortisol, raise melatonin, and quiet your nervous system from the inside out. Most people will never hear this, because no one profits from you knowing it. These aren't folk remedies. They're functional sleep medicine, and the research is stunning. Today, I'm walking you through 7 biblical secrets to help you sleep better tonight. Stick around until the end, because number 1 isn't a herb. It's a specific meal that helped a prophet sleep through a 40-day journey. And number 7, the key from Psalm 4:8, will completely change how you view bedtime forever. This list moves from what you eat to how you think. If you want to live healthy according to design, hit that subscribe button right now. You do not want to miss what's coming. Welcome to the Temple Method. Here are 7 biblical secrets for sleep, ranked from physical foundation to spiritual peak. Let's get into it. We begin with the most direct evidence in all of Scripture linking consumption to restorative sleep. The story of the prophet Elijah in 1 Kings 19. This isn't a parable. This is a clinical case study of burnout. After a massive spiritual victory, Elijah collapses into fear and exhaustion. He runs into the wilderness and prays for death. He is completely depleted. But God doesn't give him a sermon. He gives him a meal. The text describes the provision with specific detail. There by his head was a cake baked on hot coals and a jar of water. Notice the sequence. The angel instructs him to eat and drink. Then the scripture says, "So he ate and drank, and lay down and slept." This cause and effect relationship is critical. Sleep didn't come from willpower. It came from nourishment. Here's what modern science confirms about this ancient protocol. The cake baked on coals represents a complex carbohydrate. In a state of exhaustion, your cortisol is spiked. Your body is in fight or flight mode. You cannot sleep when your nervous system is defending against a threat. Consuming a small amount of complex carbs before bed triggers a slight insulin response. This helps clear competing amino acids from your bloodstream, allowing tryptophan to enter your brain more easily. Tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin and melatonin. Essentially, Elijah's cake was a biological key that unlocked his sleep cycle. Then there is the water. Dehydration is one of the most common causes of nighttime awakenings. When you are even mildly dehydrated, your body releases vasopressin and cortisol to conserve water and maintain blood pressure. These are stress hormones. They wake you up. The jar of water wasn't just hydration. It was a signal to Elijah's nervous system that he was safe, supplied, and could switch from sympathetic drive to parasympathetic rest. Most people try to sleep their way out of exhaustion. But the Temple Method teaches that you must eat your way into rest first. You cannot rest a starving engine. If you are lying awake at night with a racing mind, your body might be screaming for fuel. Here is the actionable protocol for tonight. 1 hour before bed, consume a small portion of complex carbohydrate. A slice of whole grain bread, a small bowl of oatmeal, or even a few dates. Pair this with a large glass of room temperature water. Do not drink ice water, which shocks the system. Keep it room temperature to aid digestion. This isn't about getting full. It's about signaling safety. Elijah slept long enough to travel 40 days on that single meal. That indicates a depth of recovery sleep that most modern humans never experience. He didn't just nap, he restored. If you are struggling with insomnia driven by stress or fatigue, Stop fighting it mentally. Address it physically. Give your body the raw materials it needs to shut down. Bread and water. Simple, biblical, and biologically sound. But physical fuel is only the foundation. There is a deeper layer of nutrition that speaks to emotional peace. Next, we move to the symbol of the promised land itself. Now we move to the most famous phrase in biblical nutrition: a land flowing with milk and honey. This description appears over 20 times in Scripture. Most people think this is just poetic language about prosperity. But the temple method teaches us to look deeper. Every word in Scripture carries weight. Every promise contains instruction. Milk and honey together represent more than abundance. They represent a state of complete satisfaction where anxiety has no place to live. When your body knows it is supplied, your mind can rest. This is not metaphor. This is physiology. Let's talk about milk first. The milk of the ancient Middle East was not the pasteurized, homogenized cow's milk you find in most American supermarkets. This was primarily goat's milk, consumed fresh and often fermented. Modern science has discovered something remarkable about goat's milk. It contains a 2-casein protein rather than the A1-casein found in most commercial dairy. A 1-casein triggers inflammatory responses in many people. A 2-casein does not. This is why so many people who struggle with dairy tolerance can drink goat's milk without issues. Fresh goat's milk also contains natural probiotics. It is a living food that supports gut health. And here is the connection to sleep that most people miss. Your gut produces the majority of your body's serotonin. Serotonin converts to melatonin, the sleep hormone. When your gut is inflamed, your sleep suffers. When your gut is nourished, sleep becomes natural. A warm cup of goat's milk with raw honey before bed provides tryptophan, probiotics, and stable energy through the night. Now let's discuss honey. Not the clear, shelf-stable syrup in the plastic bear at your grocery store. Raw honey, unheated, unfiltered, the kind your ancestors consumed. Raw honey contains enzymes, antioxidants, and antimicrobial compounds that disappear when honey is processed above 40 degrees Celsius. When dissolved in warm water or milk, raw honey becomes instantly bioavailable. It provides liver glycogen that prevents nighttime blood sugar crashes. How many times have you woken up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing? That is often a blood sugar drop triggering cortisol release. A small amount of honey before bed prevents this. But there is another layer here. Barley. This humble grain appears throughout Scripture as the food of ordinary people. When Jesus fed the 5,000, those were barley loaves. Barley water, made by simmering whole barley and drinking the liquid, was served in hospitals before pharmaceuticals existed. Why? Because barley contains beta-glucan, a soluble fiber proven to stabilize blood sugar and support immune function. It forms a gel in your gut that slows glucose absorption. This means steady energy through the night. No spikes, no crashes, no waking up anxious. Traditional preparation is simple. Simmer 1 cup of whole barley in 4 cups of water for 1 hour. Strain. Add lemon and a touch of raw honey if desired. Drink warm throughout the evening. This was used for kidney support, fever recovery, and general convalescence. The grain of the poor was the medicine of the wise. Together, milk, honey, and barley create what I call the Promised Land Protocol. This is not just nutrition. This is a signal to your nervous system that you live in abundance, that you are safe, that you can rest. The ancient Israelites did not drink these things by accident. They drank them because generations of observation proved they worked. Modern science is now confirming what Scripture declared thousands of years ago. The land flowing with milk and honey was not just a geographical promise. It was a physiological state, a state where the body receives exactly what it needs to enter deep, restorative rest. When you consume these foods with intention, you are not just eating. You are declaring trust in provision. And that declaration quietens the mind more effectively than any sleeping pill ever could. But there is a warning we must address. Not all drinks that induce sleep are healthy. Some create false rest. And Scripture has something very specific to say about this. However, we must address a sensitive topic. Many people turn to alcohol to help them fall asleep. But the Bible has a very clear perspective on this. In Genesis 19, Lot's daughters made their father drunk with wine so they could lie with him. The text specifically notes, "He did not know when she lay down, nor when she arose." This describes a state of unconsciousness, not peaceful rest. There is a critical difference. Proverbs 21 declares, "Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise." Isaiah 28:7 describes priests and prophets reeling from strong drink, unable to distinguish vision from stupor. The key distinction here is between restorative sleep and toxin-induced unconsciousness. Alcohol may help you fall asleep faster, but it severely disrupts REM cycles, the critical phase where mental and emotional restoration occurs. The Bible does not forbid alcohol entirely, but it warns strongly against using it to seek forgetfulness. True sleep comes from peace, not from escape. If you are using alcohol to sleep, you are borrowing tomorrow's rest at a very high interest rate. Your body needs healing, not paralysis. Modern sleep studies confirm what Scripture warned thousands of years ago. Alcohol reduces sleep quality, increases nighttime awakenings, and suppresses deep sleep stages. You may not remember waking up, but your body did. The Elijah protocol gave water for restoration. The warning about wine gave caution against deception. One builds you up, the other breaks you down. Choose restorative drinks like barley water or honey milk instead of seeking forgetfulness in a glass of wine. Your body knows the difference, and so does your spirit. At this point, if you're realizing that sleep isn't just a biological function, but a spiritual practice, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach others who are tired of fighting the night and ready to find peace. And if you haven't subscribed to the Temple Method, click subscribe and ring the bell. But here's the truth. Food and drink are only the foundation. They prepare your body. They signal safety. But they cannot give you what only faith can provide. The final secret, the one that ties everything together, isn't something you consume. It's something you receive. And it's the most important part of this entire list. Let's go there now. Now we arrive at number 7. And this is the most important secret on this entire list. You can eat every food correctly. You can drink every beverage properly. But if your mind is not at peace, you will not sleep well. This is where ancient wisdom transcends modern medicine. This is where the Temple Method becomes more than a health protocol. It becomes a spiritual practice. Psalm 4:8 declares something revolutionary. "In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." Read that again. The psalmist does not say, "I will sleep so I can find peace." He says, "In peace I will sleep." Peace comes first. Sleep follows. This is a causal relationship that modern sleep science is only beginning to understand. The source of this peace is explicitly identified. "You alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." Anxiety, fear, and insecurity are the primary obstacles to sleep. The antidote is trust in divine protection. This is not a suggestion. This is a confident declaration of faith. For the faithful, the assurance of God's presence removes the burdens that keep the mind active at night. Here is what neuroscience now confirms. When you feel safe, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, reduces its activity. Your cortisol drops. Your parasympathetic nervous system activates. This is the exact physiological state required for deep, restorative sleep. The psalmist described this 3,000 years before we had brain scanners. He understood that safety produces sleep. This is why the Sabbath commandment matters more than you think. It is not just religious law. It is biological rhythm. Stopping work one day every week teaches your nervous system that the world will not collapse if you stop controlling it. Many people cannot sleep because they are trying to solve tomorrow's problems at 11 o'clock at night. Their brains never receive the signal that it is safe to rest. Prayer before sleep is one of the most powerful tools you possess. It is not just asking for things, it is transferring burdens. When you speak your worries out loud, you reduce the cognitive load on your working memory. You are literally outsourcing your anxiety to a higher power. Studies on religious practice show that people who pray before sleep report lower sleep latency and fewer nighttime awakenings. This is not coincidence. This is design. Here is the Temple Method protocol for spiritual sleep. First, write down your worries on paper. Get them out of your head. Second, speak a prayer of release. Say, I release this to God. I am not in control. I am safe. Third, declare Psalm 4:8 out loud. In peace I will lie down and sleep. The Lord makes me dwell in safety. Speak it until your body believes it. Many people treat sleep as a battle to be won. They fight against wakefulness. They monitor their sleep trackers. They anxiety about their anxiety. This approach guarantees failure. The biblical model treats sleep as a gift to be received. When you trust that you are protected, sleep comes naturally. It is not something you achieve. It is something you allow. The deepest sleep does not come from the most expensive supplement. It comes from the deepest sense of safety that only faith can provide. When you believe that the same presence that watches over the sparrow watches over you, sleep arrives as grace, not as a struggle. This is the peak of the Temple Method. Physical preparation matters, nutritional support matters, but spiritual peace is the foundation that makes everything else work. You were designed to sleep in peace, not in worry, not in fear, in peace. This is not just a spiritual ideal. This is your biological birthright. When you align your sleep practice with this truth, everything changes. Your body stops fighting. Your mind stops racing. And sleep, real restorative sleep, finally comes home. So there you have it. 7 biblical secrets to better sleep, from the Elijah Protocol to the peace of Psalm 4:8. The Bible is not just a spiritual book. It is an instruction manual for human design. Sleep is where body and spirit meet to restore. Here is my challenge to you. For the next 7 nights, try this. Eat a small carbohydrate snack with water before bed. Cut out alcohol in the evening. And read Psalm 4:8 out loud before you close your eyes. Then come back and tell me what changed. If this video brought you value, comment, I choose peace below. I read every single comment and I want to hear your story. Do not forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell for more videos on health according to ancient wisdom. Thank you for watching. Sleep well. Sleep in peace. I will see you in the next one.